Well, welcome, beautiful viewers, to Kiiroo TV.
Woo.
Nice. My name is Urban. Next to me, I have my co-host. I would call him SpaceKees, aka Flay Dollar.
Yes,
AKA,
that's me. Oh wow.
aka,
Yeah.
aka Bobby Flay,
Wow.
aka man. He's the he's the entity, man.
The entity,
great to have you here.
Oh, thank you, Urban. Yeah, you know a lot of my AKAs. That's so flattering.
Man, pause on that, but
Yeah.
man, you're a hero to me, man.
Thanks.
Like most of the rappers of the generation that you've been
that's
to,
kinda
man,
true.
a lot of heroes of mine.
Yeah.
man, so
Thank you. Yeah.
great to have you here. But for
Great to
those
be
who
here.
don't for those who don't know you,
Yeah.
would you please care to tell us?
Well, like you already kind of said, I'm a semi-famous rapper in Holland. And I also do a podcast with Jiggy J called Wilde Haren.
Which is also
Also very awesome.
rapper,
Also
which is
famous rapper.
If I'm correct, also like a label boss.
Yes, he's also my label boss, Noah's Ark label. And well, in my spare time, I like to stream video games. I'm a hardcore StarCraft 2 fan.
Ooh.
And yeah, so I just learned how to stream, and it's like a whole new world is opening up to me. So I want to do that more in the future. And yeah, that's it. I hope to do a little bit more acting in the future. I just did a beer commercial, so yeah, watch out for that.
Cool.
Nice.
Great to have you here, like I said. And our guest for today is none other than Salem.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Yes, welcome.
Salem in the building.
Salem, would you care to tell what it is that you do?
Yeah, sure. I am a freelancer and I work in a pole dance studio where I teach pole dance classes and flexibility classes. Other than that, I also teach Pilates, I do personal trainings and other fitness classes. So basically, I work with mostly women. And I teach them how to be comfortable in their body, how to express their art with their body, and how to gain fitness health.
Yeah, right.
Sounds very interesting. So it's
Yeah.
more so there's more to it than just pole dancing.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
more like the art behind it.
Yeah.
Cool. And did you do that out of the blue, or do you have you have a background history regarding ballet or anything, or dancing for that matter?
No background at all.
No background at all.
No.
You didn't. You just went and did it.
Yeah, it was something that I saw on the internet passing by sometimes, and it was really mesmerizing to see how women would lift their body up with such strength and grace, and it was something I always wanted to try. And then my friend surprised me with a class for my birthday, and actually I've never looked back since.
Oh,
Yeah.
Really?
yeah. It is. I have a.
Thus the dream has started like that.
Yeah, basically I just roll into it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's getting more popular, I believe, because when I told my girlfriend I was coming, she was like, "Oh, pole dancing! Oh yeah, I like it! I love it!" So it's really interesting thing.
Yeah.
Do I hear maybe a nice tip for a birthday gift?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
go
I'm
for
done,
it.
I'm done, yeah. Yeah,
Awesome.
I will just invite Salem to teach my girlfriend. That would be
Sure,
perfect.
sure.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's gonna be a great party.
Yeah.
For those viewers who are watching, don't forget to subscribe, and comment below the episode that we are in right now.
Yeah.
So far, so good?
Subscribe. Click the bell so you get
The
updates.
notifications.
Notifications. Yeah.
Cool. Well, as usual, what we always do is talk about all the news regarding sex, the adult industry, sex tech, and all the innovations regarding to it. And what we always do is open up with news items. For example, British government butchers sex education even further. Editors from The Guardian, an influential newspaper and news site, are calling for Brits to protest the new reforms in sex education. So what that means is like they want them to know that they need to modernize about sex education on schools.
Yeah.
Which is quite surprising to me if you ask me. Like in 2018, UK, like they're so conservative about sex. Well, when you look around Amsterdam and you see the tourists, that's the last thing that's on your mind, that they're so conservative to it.
Yeah, I wonder because the first question that pops in my head: did you have sex education when you were in school? Because I don't remember having any.
I think we
actually,
all did.
we had like a half lesson and like 4 pages of the biology book, but that was basically it.
That sounds like where the UK government wants to go to. They want to lump it together with some other things, and then you will go to a system where not a lot of people get sex education. Yeah, the question is also, do they need it? Does the normal person, do you need it? Is there something?
I think they do.
I think I could have needed it. I didn't get it. But I was like so confused when I was like, you had different kind of people. You had people who were like in control and were like focused on their family and not having a girlfriend or not having sex.
Yeah.
And but those were mostly the girls, and the boys were like sometimes also like that. But the guys I knew were like, we just have to get this over with. I can't be a virgin. I can't be a virgin. I have to do it as quickly as possible. Love doesn't have to be involved. I just don't want to be a virgin. And I do think it's confusing to me if they want to improve it or if they want to make it more important or less important in the UK. But I think it should be kind of important because it's everywhere. You can't get away from it.
Salem, do you agree on it?
I agree with his point. I'm not sure if they want to improve it or like lump it together, which makes it less important.
Actually, out of fear for negative exposure in the tabloids, more conservative and prude political entities have decided that sex education should no longer be a class of its own. The Guardians fear that middle schools will now skip or rush through certain modules. Yeah. So what happens actually is like it's creating more confusion, if you ask me, than it will give you more, instead of giving you more the direction or education that they need. Yeah. Yeah. And like knowing that they're already like sexually chaotic and frustrating, like it's a global thing, you know. So it's strange for me that they are like cutting down on like education people for that. Like, let's be honest, man. Sex is something intense.
Yeah, like in my opinion, they should put more time and effort into like making sure the education is like on point. Same thing like we have in Holland. Yeah. I don't remember getting a good sex education. Like we just got the basics, and it doesn't really prepare you for what's about to happen.
How it really goes down. Yeah. We didn't even have streaming porn. You know, like maybe that's another thought I have. Maybe the kids can educate themselves better, but it's a weird thing to educate yourself with porn. Of course, it's not realistic.
I'm not sure if that's the way to go.
But that's the alternative. If they don't get the sex ed, they will learn via porn. Yeah. I think.
It's a funny thing that like I've been introduced with porn at the age of maybe 8 or 9 or something.
Oh yeah, like okay, that. Yeah, right.
Like we found the videotape and like me and my friends, we were checking it out. Yeah. But even though as funny as we and as interesting as we found it, we had the common sense to realize, man, it's a movie, man. It's just a movie. It's interesting to see it. But it's a movie, though.
Yeah, it is. It is an exaggeration of how it really goes down. But still, I still had let me tell you, the first times I had sex, I really thought, okay, but I have to do this because at one point in the movie, I can't do just missionary stance, right? You have to. Okay, now I have to do this, and then okay, now I have to go down, and it felt like it felt weird.
So we agree on the fact like. They should at least put some more effort in educating the children and the people.
They really teach children that it's something to be ashamed about instead of like being open about it and just talking about it.
Cool.
Right.
In addition to sex education, teachers in Rwanda seems to feel very uncomfortable with that. It turns out like sex education is not a common phenomenon in high schools in Rwanda. As a matter of fact, a lot of representatives of the local Anglican church are begging parents to sensitize their children's teachers to the idea that sexual health class should be a staple of their curriculum.
Yeah, of course.
Well,
Yeah.
back to the same
Yeah.
topic that we were talking about.
I would say, of course, here it also says, if you don't want teen pregnancies to not be major, you better teach them the thing about it, because probably in Rwanda it seems like that's a big problem over there, because they actually don't know what happens after sex, maybe. Yeah, then all of a sudden people are pregnant.
True that. But there seems to be a positive side to it, because last week I happened to read about an article which proved that a lot of teens are more interested in finding personal bonds with their family, and getting together in a real relationship instead of getting into sex. So it has to say something for that. Even though that it is a global problem, like a lot of people are not well educated in sex.
Of course, they should be able to make their own choices, and if they don't want to have sex, they shouldn't have sex. But if they do want to have sex, they should better be educated, because
to start with, wear a condom.
Right? Yeah, just use a condom, Rwandans.
Not Rwandans only, man. You too,
Everyone.
also the British lads and blokes
Dutch,
who are
everybody.
here in the country in Amsterdam and partying around, man. Condom, man. It saves you a lot of BS.
Yes, I agree. Amen.
Amen to that. So it seems like many Rwandan health organizations believe that sex education should begin in grade school, as they fear that children who are ill-informed will give into their curiosity at an early age and might contract STIs or cause teen pregnancy. As already said by Space.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that's important. Just teach the kids to have sex, man. Right?
True that.
In a semi-okay way. Yeah. Cool. But what is okay? That's a philosophical question. What is okay and what is not okay? Or is everything okay?
In my opinion, there's a lot okay, but due to the fact I've been raised in the Western civilization, I tend to be more open-minded than I would be if I would be raised in a religious country.
Right. Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it.
Moving on, next item.
But this is a very interesting one.
It is. China is cracking down on funeral strippers.
Funeral strippers?
Yeah. It seems like in China it seems to be very common starting of the 90s that they have funerals that feature strippers.
Yeah, it could be okay. It could be okay.
Man, it's awesome if you ask me.
Right?
For example, I always tell the people, if I die, please don't make it
the strippers.
Don't make it a
don't
sad
bring
event.
the strippers out. Well, at least bring the girls out, make them twerk.
It should be a party, right? Yeah.
It should be a party.
Yeah,
at least instead of mourning my dad, celebrate that I lived and that I live life to the fullest. At least that's what I'm aspire to do.
I think that makes sense. I think that's a good point. It has a lot to do what the deceased person would want. If the deceased person would want strippers, he should have strippers. If he would have a party, that should be the thing. But I don't know why they are making a problem of this in China, because they actually don't want the funeral strippers to be there, because they think it's an unfair use to get a lot of people at the funeral. Hey, they think it's cheating. They think it's cheating.
But they also seem to have. Do it as an ode to fertility and creating a healthy sex life as well.
That's another reason to bring the strippers.
Yeah.
Why are they cracking down on the strippers?
Well, the government isn't fond of it because they think it's a form of Western corruption and morals and ethics. So
what
basically
is that about?
It's more about
But no,
it doesn't fit our conservative way of thinking.
I can't believe this.
I think it's nice. Yeah, I think if that's the way you want to go,
I think it's nice.
Do you have strippers on your funeral, Salem?
I haven't really thought about how I want my life to end, but I wouldn't mind.
Right.
Yeah,
You wouldn't mind
sure.
have strippers?
Yeah, or pole dancers, or
Right. Please.
Sure, yeah.
Right. It seems so logical in my mind. Everybody been to enough depressing funerals
Yeah.
Yeah.
to not want to have your own funeral be depressing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Maybe you should have two, right? There must be people who are like conservative and are like, no, but I want to say goodbye and cry at the grave on my own, and maybe you should just have two
Like an
funerals.
after party.
No, and
Yeah.
then the after party, right? Yeah.
Nah, man. I would be like, nah, man. People, please, man. At least let me put it in my will. Be like, man, if I
Yeah.
die, start partying
Yeah,
around my
yeah,
grave,
yeah.
man. Be like, man, that dude, like, bring up the
lived,
most
yeah.
funniest in
Right.
memories. Also, like,
You can always
What-
cry later.
yeah, exactly. And also, like, what kind of music do I want at my funeral? And
Yeah.
it's hard to say for me because,
Yeah.
like, man, at one day I'm like, I can listen to Queen I can listen to Queen like a whole month, but I can easily listen to Eminem as well.
Yeah,
So, like,
it's very hard. Yeah,
It's very hard.
My mind is going crazy with trying to come up with 5 songs for my funeral. It's
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
impossible. Yeah.
5, man. Put
Yeah.
a party and put all my songs there, man.
And but there's also a weird thing. If it's like say a sad funeral, the songs that will be in the sad funeral will forever be connected with sadness,
Yeah.
because then
True.
they played this song at my boy's funeral, and then I always cry.
Yeah, for example, it was already hard enough for me not to cry at Lion King. Now, every time
Yeah.
that I see a funeral, sometimes they be like, it's the circle of life. I'm like, oh, man, it's already hard enough,
Oh
man.
man. Yeah, but it's okay to cry at the Lion King, man. It's,
True. True. Staying in China with the next news item. It seems to be like the oldest pole dancer of China is 72. The 72-year-old Dai Dali from Chengdu in China has won her 9th first place award, becoming the most awarded pole dancer over the age of 50 in China. So it seems to be interesting. And since you said you just started randomly out of the moment, right?
Yeah.
Seems to be with her as well, because she started doing pole dancing at the age of 62.
Nice.
Seems to be very flexible, man.
Yeah.
I've never heard of her, but like pole dancers come in all
Are
shapes,
you-
sizes,
do you-
ages.
Do you have any like examples, like who you really look up to? Like, are there any pole dancer artists that you?
Is there like a top 5 of best
Yeah.
dancers?
Oh, that's really hard.
Yeah.
Because I have so many, and like
Yeah,
everyone
okay.
has their own style, or everyone
Yeah,
has
yeah.
their own like strength.
But like, do you like? Are there any inspiration sources for you? Like,
Like
for
the whole
example, if I
community
would be
is
a
an
footballer,
inspiration.
if I would be a footballer, I would be like, man, like one of my favorite players used to be Jari Liedmanen, for example. So I would look up to him and be
Yeah.
like, trying to be the footballer like him. But do you have like, is there anybody like
It's
that?
hard for me to name a few because then I feel like I forget the
Yeah.
Ah, alright,
So
alright.
yeah, I
hard,
don't really have like 1 or 2 or 3 I look up to.
No,
It's like
just-
okay.
just like a lot of them. Yeah.
And it makes me think about, is there how long has pole dancing existed as a thing? Because I would wonder, it seems like it has been popular not that long, because you started semi recently, this person
Yeah.
started recently, maybe there's been
It's very upcoming now, but
Yeah,
it's,
okay.
it's been around for a while, also in strip clubs.
Yeah, of
which
course.
is more the erotic type of pole dancing.
right. Yeah, in America, of course, it's like
Yeah.
huge.
And even like in China, I don't know if you've ever heard of the
Mhm.
Chinese pole, which
No.
is more, I think, males.
Okay.
And it's a different kind of poles, and it's more like
But that's more like
acrobatic and
inspired by circus, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's been
Yeah.
more like the Cirque du Soleil artist,
Yeah.
for example.
Yeah.
Ah.
So you have a lot of different styles.
And is there an award show? Because I see this person was in China's Got Talent and Asia's Got Talent. But is there like a yearly?
Yeah. You
Event.
have championships, like
championship?
the Dutch one,
Do you
Oh,
participate
World
in it?
Championships. No, I haven't.
Will you?
Maybe one day, we'll see.
Right. Ah, that's very interesting. You haven't
yeah.
won a Dutch championship
And you
pole
also
dancing.
have like different categories. So you also have like, I think 40 or 50 plus.
Oh yeah, right.
And then people from Holland compete. And if you win, you go through to the World Championships
Wow.
and then compete with your own category. So
Wow.
yeah, it's very common for people at
And
like an older age,
is there
so-
a Dutch person that's doing really well internationally
yeah.
pole
a few,
dancing?
yeah.
As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, I
Okay.
did saw a few. Like I thought it was in a talk show called Jensen.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw a few of them.
Is that still on?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah,
doesn't
it
matter.
was. It used to be.
Yeah.
Well,
Used to be
perhaps,
popping.
Yeah, indeed.
Now we are the kings. We're the new
Rule.
Jensen, man. Better. Yeah, but you that person was in a.
It was in a talk show, and well, it seems like she was very popular. Like she
Okay.
won a lot of prizes.
Okay.
But I wouldn't recap her name anymore. Right?
No, it's and it doesn't matter because it's all about Salem today. The best pole dancer we know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Adding into our guest right now.
Yeah.
What's your specialty? Like, do you have like your main thing? What's your?
Yeah, I'm really into flexibility and like
Okay.
flexible tricks and like splits and back bends, and that's the thing I like most and what I feel most comfortable in.
All right.
Right. It's flips. I can't get the word. I don't know the word.
Pole dancing.
Yeah, pole dancing, but you have when you're dancing and doing aerobatics and doing flips. How do they call it at the Olympics?
Gymnastics?
Yeah, gymnastics. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to say turnen, but
Yeah,
is
I
that
think
gymnastics?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was what I want to say.
It has
It's
a lot
kinda
from
like
gymnastics, but then you use a pole which is like vertical instead of
Oh
horizontal.
yeah, right. Yeah. Okay.
So if you
Yeah.
want to compete in acrobatic pole dancing, at what age do you recommend starting? Given your experience.
You actually also can start as a kid, which some
Hmm.
people might find weird because they still associate pole dance with
Yeah.
something erotic, but
It isn't, right? Like it's.
It isn't. No. It can be if you want to, but
Yeah.
like a lot of kids are pole dancing and are
Just to
competing,
work out.
and yeah, they
Yeah.
are strong.
Yeah, right.
Well, adding on to that, like exactly, like there's a lot of stigma around pole dancing.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
how would you explain in 2 sentences that expressing
No.
comfort with your own body and sexuality has nothing to do with eroticism or porn?
In 2 sentences.
You can use more, but
Okay.
it would be cool.
Well, basically, what it comes down to is that if women want to express their sexuality or sensuality in this form, like dancing on a pole, then that's their choice. And if that
Mhm.
makes other people uncomfortable, then I think that's like their problem.
Right?
Yeah.
But it seems
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
maybe it's the propaganda that's been influencing the human mind. Like, for example, I wouldn't say like it has something to do with sexuality. However, talking about pole dancing usually always makes me want to think about strip bars, makes me want to think about Joe Cocker and be like, you can leave. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me, maybe, but like it has some like relationship to it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that it doesn't. Like it's nothing to be ashamed of. Like,
Maybe it needs to be an Olympic sport before
It might
people
become
realize
one.
it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
just sexual.
As a matter of fact, it's
it probably
already
could.
like it's already
Yeah.
like
it's on its way.
yeah, it's on its way, right?
Yeah.
So we can say like a few years ago, like I think last year, they brought skateboarding into the Olympics.
It is.
That was something that I should have
Okay.
known a few years ago.
What?
man.
Yeah.
Skateboarding in the Olympics?
Yeah, it's an
Just
Olympics
now.
Yeah,
Since
just
last year or the year
since-
before that.
I think the last Olympics they introduced it to. If not, they would do it in the next one. So
That's crazy how that works, because if it wasn't there, why wasn't I informed? And it is I only see the things that the Dutch people want to see probably on the channels,
of course.
because if there was skateboarding, I would be watching that instead of the what are the typical things they do broadcast in Holland? There's
Well,
also
Track field,
Yeah.
a lot of swimming,
Yeah,
a lot
swimming.
of hockey as well.
swimming. Who needs swimming? Yeah, swimming is kind of okay.
Well, let's
Okay.
be honest.
Yeah,
Like, they
we have
do
some good
have like
swimmers.
they do have some good swimmers, and it's the
Yeah.
body you want to look at, man. Like,
Yeah, I
like,
love those bodies.
flexible.
Okay. I'll think that's okay.
So,
Moving
Salem,
on,
what can you
yeah.
express with acrobatic pole dancing that you cannot express with modern dance or experimental ballet?
I think it's more strength you can express because like
I
a
think it
lot of
does need a
aspects
lot
from
of
the
strength,
dance
indeed.
Yeah.
you can incorporate in the pole dancing, but the difference is your feet are off the ground. Maybe that's a big difference.
Yeah, I think it
Or like
is.
flying around in the air.
Yeah.
So it's a combination of the art form of dancing and the athleticism of like
Right.
fitness and like strength.
A gymnastic
Yeah.
person.
Cool, interesting.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
interesting. Because I would have thought the answer would be there's nothing you can't express on a pole that you. That's the same thing. It's you can do it both. You can just put it all together.
But you can also add like different kinds of orientation from modern dancing into pole dance,
Right.
For example, if you do a pole act, you can also just do a piece where you don't touch the pole and you incorporate some dance or some floor work or.
Wow. I want to see an event now. I was when I'm home, I will watch an event.
While you were saying that, I had an image up in my mind. Like I was in like a neon light night bar, like a real one, like out of the time of Miami Vice.
Yeah.
And then seeing a chick with a hat on and be like, dun, 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 dun. I don't know why, but.
It's totally different. I was in a gymnastic hall with modern dance and just hanging on the pole like this. When you hold the pole like this, can you do that? Did you like hold the pole
and then
you just straight?
It's a process. I'm working on it.
Okay. Yeah, it's so unbelievable how people do that. But you'll get there.
It's crazy. Yeah, I'll get there one day.
Cool. Okay. So, what about pole dancing is most appealing to you?
The fact that you really get to like explore your sensuality in a very like nice environment. Like I said, it's mostly women supporting each other, and it's always always a new challenge.
Empowerment as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But is there also a lot of competition? Like, are there a lot of divas as well?
No. Maybe they are somewhere, but I haven't experienced that.
Mostly they're pretty nice to each other.
Yeah, and it also depends. Like if you're competing, then there's more of a competition there than if you're just training and like sharing the art with each other.
Yeah, right.
All right. Interesting.
It is.
Yeah.
Did you did some performances recently?
I have done them before. I'm mostly focused on teaching, so I don't really perform a lot. But if someone asks me to perform somewhere, I'm always down. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, because we have a question from our friend Rashid.
Okay.
And he wonders, and me too now. If there's a place where you perform and there are, for example, a lot of children, do you edit your act like, okay, maybe now it's a little less sensual, and maybe is there a difference when you perform before? Do you desexualize a performance maybe when you're in front of kids or adults?
I've never performed for kids, but I think you would keep in mind that it's a different audience, so maybe like adjust the music so it like connects more with the audience, or don't wear heels.
Right. Yeah, it's so funny because, like you said, it really doesn't have anything to do with sexuality for the performer. It's only how the public or how the viewer interprets it. This is kind of interesting. So yeah.
But there are different styles, though. You also have like the erotic style of pole dancing, or the sexual style. So then it does have to.
Yeah, right. Then it does have that meaning.
Do you use a lot of attributes next to the pole? Like, for example, do you use a lot of what's the name for it? Scarves and stuff.
You can, yeah.
Right.
But I haven't before, like in any act.
How's that thing called with people who are in the parade? They throw it up like a little baton. Is it called a baton?
Yeah.
Yes. That would be great. A baton, and it's just a suggestion. You don't ever have to use it. I just thought of it.
I'll keep it in mind. You never know.
Okay.
You seem to be very confident. So does it take a lot of confidence to be a pole dancer, or can it create confidence on the other hand?
Yeah. I think it can really change the way you look at yourself and the way of like your body image, and even with teaching, you notice that people who come for the first time are always like a little bit like uncomfortable. It's new, and you need to be dressed in like very little clothing, like a shorts and a top.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that may be uncomfortable because you're in a room with people you don't know. But
did you experience it the same way?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, at first it was all like, I don't know, like a bit weird, and just not really feeling comfortable there. But the more you practice it and you see you're gaining strength, and every time you learn a new trick, it's like a huge boost.
Right.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing it so far?
I think I'm going like almost 4 years now.
Really?
Yeah.
And how long did it take you from being the
get
student to sensei?
I think about a year or two.
Do you consider yourself sensei already? Can you?
No.
But you can. You are confident enough that you can teach people to get that boost you got the first time.
Yeah.
It is interesting because yeah, it inderdaad, you have to be pretty confident about your body, but yeah, okay. You'll get there just doing it. Practice makes perfect.
Exactly. Yeah, a lot of
Okay.
people say like, "Oh, I don't want to do pole dancing because I'm not strong enough or like I'm
Right.
not fit enough." But that's where you start, and then while doing it, you'll gain the strength, and then
Yeah.
you'll progress.
But I can
Okay.
only imagine that it takes like a way of shape. Like I wouldn't do it like if I have like 3 rubber bands on me, like in mass, for example. Like
Maybe.
Yeah, all shapes
I
and
wonder.
sizes.
Yeah?
Like,
Shapes and
all
sizes.
shapes
It's
and
like a
sizes,
300
all
pound
ages.
person can just do his own thing.
Of course,
It's
yeah.
also okay. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
stop me if I'm wrong, and I might
Yeah.
be rude if I say this, but I see a lot of epic fails.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
epic fills are probably not well-adjusted poles.
Right.
Yeah.
You always see the pole falling, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Always the pole breaks.
I've never had that happen.
right.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
Right,
Did you
right.
ever break the pole?
Cool. But
Yeah.
sticking on to like something that might be negative, did you ever experience sex negative interaction or response relating to your performing craft that you do?
No, nothing that really bothers me. No,
Okay.
except for the usual. Oh, you pole dance, so why don't you dance on my pole? Or like,
Oh,
the
really?
usual, like, oh, I'd like to see that. Like,
That's corny.
That's
Yeah,
just
people are so corny.
very corny.
Yeah.
But no, other
Very
than that,
cheesy.
like, people are actually really open to it these days. Most people just say like, oh, then you must be really strong, or oh, that's really like an upcoming thing,
Yeah,
or it's
right.
very interesting, or yeah.
Is it something spiritual as well?
Yeah, I do believe it can be like that. You really get in touch with your feminine side and your sensuality and
Yeah.
really connecting with your body.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, what's the most positive that happened to you?
I'm stronger than I ever was before. Like I found something that I really love because this is just what I do now. This is my
Mhm.
life,
Great.
and
Yeah.
it's for me. It's the most beautiful thing is that I can share it with other people and see them grow and like give them what
Right.
it's given me.
Inspire them. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about strength, indeed. Like grabbing the Sonya Blade legs, being able to like snap anybody's neck if you want to, man.
yeah.
Did it ever occur to you?
Snapping someone's neck?
No,
You could be able to.
No, but
if
like
I'm able to kill
having
some,
the
maybe I
force in
should.
the legs. I mean, like respect to that. Like, because I see a lot of those movies, and it's always the thing that's always been coming to mind is like, man, where do they find the strength? But of course, practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
And now I see the James Bond movie with Famke
Exactly.
doing with the legs in the. I think it's in the sauna.
Yeah,
She strangles him with his legs.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Exa- when you
Exactly,
golden
yeah.
line.
In a couple of years, when you're even more perfected, and somebody attacks you, you just strangle him with the legs.
I'll remember that.
Right.
Cool. So interesting to have you here. We
Yeah.
still have some other questions,
Okay.
though these are from Core. And as you might know, Core it's like an internet question
Okay. Yeah.
site. One of the questions that they asked is, there are no pole dancing classes in my area. Is it safe to just buy a pole and teach myself with the help of YouTube?
A lot of people do that. I see a lot of like self-taught pole dancers,
Mhm.
but I still would recommend that if you have no knowledge at all, to start with some classes, just to know how to be safe and don't get yourself injured.
Right.
It is possible though, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend it.
Is it but because this person can't find a class? Is it
Yeah.
is it very common? Yeah, in Amsterdam it must be common, but I don't. Do you think that every town has a pole dancing class? Probably.
I think in Holland, it shouldn't be that hard because
Okay.
they're located like in different cities. But
Yeah.
some countries
It's
maybe harder. Yeah,
yeah.
Due
right.
to the conservative
yeah,
or
like the
something?
culture, or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
All right. Well, what seems to be interesting is like if they don't have the if they don't have the resources or the places where they can go to, like YouTube seems to be the only way to try it, and right?
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you're good at that, I know a lot of people who made a lot of beautiful things following tutorials on YouTube.
Yeah.
So
So do
yeah,
I.
Yeah.
if you just follow it to the letter
Yeah.
and be safe, it maybe it can be,
But then on the other
you have to
hand,
be careful.
we
Just be
might-
careful.
yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, indeed. Just be careful.
Yeah.
I'll add to
Yeah.
that too. Or be careful, or you might end up in ridiculousness or
Yeah.
a fail movie.
And get a good pole.
Right.
Nice. Next one. Pole dancing seems very elegant and gracious to me. It looks like something I greatly enjoy, but I'm afraid of being objectified. How do I tackle this?
Yeah.
Well, that's just like common sense. Just do you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
but that is the problem with this. That okay, let me just put it on myself. If I
Yeah.
would go pole dancing, I think I would be feel kind of embarrassed because we're getting there, that it's normal and it's not very. It doesn't have to be sexual, and it's about strength and getting in touch with your body. But the problem is, most of the people still. I wish it wasn't so. I think we have another 10 years to go before people will not objectify you, because like you
But-
said, you even run into people who still say oh, come dance on my pole, or that's objectifying, right? That's like
Yeah.
saying if you're a dance on the pole, then you're involved with other things as well, maybe.
But you always got
Yeah.
the retards, right?
Exactly. The
But
thing is that
yeah.
if you choose to do this, then
Yeah,
you're probably comfortable doing
Yeah,
this,
right.
and then it shouldn't matter what anybody says.
yeah, right. You should just ignore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just do you.
You
Right.
didn't had any other altercations to that, like besides like come
No.
sit on the pole.
No.
Okay, cool. So, a question from the directors:
Okay.
how can this person get over the objectification part, and what attitude does it take?
I think that practicing pole dance itself will help you gain the confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that will help a lot. Like even for me, when I started pole dancing, and for example, I was at work and I would go to a pole dance training, I wouldn't necessarily say, "Oh, I'm going pole dancing." Like at first, it was still like really, I don't know how people will take this,
Right.
and like at some point, you just really don't care anymore.
Yeah, right. It must be.
Do you have a lot
Yeah.
of positive feedback from your family or your loved ones around you?
Yeah, they're supportive.
There must
Were they surprised at the beginning, or were they like negative in the start, or were they like scared for you or something?
or were they just for go for it?
I think that at first it's hard to understand something you're not familiar with.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the more you see it, and the more you see what influence it has on me, the more you're like,
Yeah.
it's okay, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I
Cool.
think there must be a major difference, of course, in watching it and doing it. If when you're
Yeah.
doing it, it's you're just doing it. You're just doing your workout, and then there's probably not all these questions going around in your mind that the viewer has. So okay, I
Yeah.
can understand that it's.
Do you have any goals set for yourself, like between now and like what would be the best case scenario for you to end up with your craft?
That's a good question. I'm really not a person that plans far ahead.
No, it's
I'm
a
really,
stupid question, but I
Yeah.
like to ask it
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
I don't
no,
have to
I-
answer it right
exactly.
What are your pole goals?
Yeah.
Goals.
I'm just the kind of person that just sees where this takes me, and for now I'm very happy with where I am, and I'm improving and I'm learning as I go, and we'll see. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Cool. And what kind of category of music do you usually use? Yourself, that is. Because like you already said,
Different types of music. I'm more into like slow, like flowy music where you can like really, so no
Yeah,
hardcore.
right. Because I would think because we already mentioned America, that you really have the strip club music. There are
Yeah.
even artists who make music exclusively for the strip club. So
I know that ATL has a lot
Right.
of strip club influences in the
Mhm.
music as well.
right.
But like, given the fact that you like to be more of like an expression, what type of music would you use to? Would you use that music as well, for example?
I like to experiment with music, so I like to try out, and it really depends on how I feel. Yeah, a connection with the song. So it can be anything from hip hop to R&B to like instrumental something or.
All right.
Or
What's the first
something
thing you ever did
Dutch.
to? You ever
The
danced to?
first thing I ever danced to.
Yeah.
And do you have
um,
favorite songs to dance to? Because
I have like a playlist with
Oh,
like
yeah,
hundreds
right.
of songs, and then I
Right.
just put it on shuffle, and then I next and see how it goes.
yeah, right. And
So what's the
Yeah.
first song? Because like
Yeah.
as I might know, like you need a lot of confidence. So what's that song that
Maybe,
gets you into that
Yeah.
mood?
The last song I danced to, which was a performance, was actually like a piano instrumental from the what's the movie called Into Shabbos, like the really
Okay, yeah.
pretty.
It's a good movie.
I'm not sure what
Which
it's
one?
called.
Sorry.
Yeah, Into
Shabbos?
Shabbos is called.
Ah, all right.
like
It's
a
the
piano
guy who
song
takes
and
care of the guy who
Exactly.
can move, and
Yeah.
it's very heartfelt.
Very touchy and very like, emotional.
And then you have a piano that goes.
Exactly
Something like
that
that.
one.
That's one. That one.
It's
Sounds
not the
like-
first, it's the last one I did.
So there wasn't a beat. Is there a beat in that song, or was it just
It
the
was
piano?
actually
That's
just
the
the
piano.
piano.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
but you can still find a rhythm then. Yeah, of course, yeah, okay, it's
Yeah.
possible. It seems like it would be harder then, but you didn't feel that way, or did you?
No,
You just felt it.
because there's a lot of emotion in the song.
Yeah,
I
that was the
really
moment.
felt that way.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And that was the moment that you realized I'm going to do this for now,
Yes.
and we'll see where it ends.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a nice moment. Yeah. Yeah.
So do you prefer sometimes songs with? Do you sometimes use songs to add on to the emotion that you're into, right? At sometimes, like for example, like if you would use a song like when you're heartbroken, you want to express that feeling. Like,
Yeah,
does
yeah.
it add to it too as well?
Yeah, it does. Like, for example, even if you do different styles, like if I want to just spin and do something pretty, I'll put on something slow. And if I'm doing power tricks, I'll put on something energetic to like get energy out of the music.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that it has an influence on it.
There's a lot of hula hoops included as well, right?
Is there
Hula
hoops
hoops?
included?
Hoops included.
Is
Isn't
there
it?
hoops included?
In pole dancing?
Yeah.
I think,
Like the
hoop?
attributes as using a the hula hoop, right?
Yeah.
Do you,
Like,
have you ever
mean
used
the one
it?
that hangs from the ceiling or the one that you just hold on to?
The one that you just hold on to.
Oh, I've never
You
seen
never?
that. It's interesting though.
No. They were talking about the aerial hoops.
the
Okay.
aerials.
Yeah, that's like a whole different aerial art.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's,
haven't
it's
done
a different
that.
discipline. I've tried it. Yeah.
Okay. And do you have do you have a routine like you always do, or do you always try to change it up? Do you always try to do something different, or do you have some things you always do?
Every training starts with warm up, of course,
Yeah.
and I have some tricks I keep on working on until I get them.
Oh, yeah, right.
So I do have some things that I keep repeating, but
Trying.
mostly I just try as many different stuff as I can because
Okay, yeah.
there's so many tricks. There's like endless possibilities of combinations you can work on and
Yeah,
try.
right.
So
Are there
Okay.
partners involved?
yeah, you can also do like a duo pole
Oh, yeah.
act, or like you can train like double tricks, which means that actually makes it harder because you're doing something on the pole and then you have to keep in mind that there's
Right.
something or someone you're
You can't
also
be on
holding
the
up in the
pole.
air. You really have
Yeah.
to trust each other and like
Right.
yeah.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
The
Yeah.
director's showing us the aerial loop, I think.
Hey, yeah, that's me doing a
Oh,
double
that's
trick.
you.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh.
Interesting.
Oh, that's
the
not
bottom
even-
one.
Oh, wow. That's inderdaad...
So if she lets go of my foot or I let go of hers, and then something's gonna go
Right.
wrong.
like she is... One of you is like acting as an aerial hoop.
Yeah, exactly.
You suffered injury so far?
So far, no injuries yet.
Okay.
I don't know,
let's keep it that way,
Let's
man.
keep it that way. Yeah,
Keep
I
my
try to
thumbs
be
crossed for
really
you.
careful with my
And
body.
does that mean that you never fell off the pole, or does it mean that you just know how to land?
So far, I've never really fallen off
Okay.
the pole.
Alright.
Yeah.
Well,
that's-
it
it's
seems
good.
you're natural.
Yeah, right. I think this is a good thing you're doing. I think you're in the right profession.
Yeah.
You never fall. That's a good point, right?
Yeah,
And even if I
agree.
slip, like I catch myself before I touch the ground. So far,
Alright.
so it's good.
All right. Yeah.
Are you
Yeah,
Leo by sign or something?
No, I'm a Gemini.
Gemini. All right.
Yeah, I wonder because sometimes in some professions of sports they teach you how to fall if you fall, right?
Yeah.
Is that also with pole dancing? They say, well, if you drop, just do like this or something. Make yourself into a little ball.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Most of the time it's just grab onto the pole.
All right.
and,
Just don't lose the pole.
yeah.
That's
Just don't let
probably-
go. Make sure you have some skin like on the pole to grip.
Right.
Awesome.
To not crash.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Have you ever worked together with different artists, like from different professions? Like, did you ever create in movies, or did you ever work in music videos, for example?
The last performance I did was a nice collaboration with a spoken word artist.
Awesome.
So he wrote a piece about like empowering women and how
Mhm.
men objectify women, and he did his part, and then I did like an intro and an outro with a pole dance act.
Wow, cool. That
with, like,
that
music
sounds
in
like
the
a
background.
great act.
Yeah, it was
Also-
very nice.
Yeah, it sounds like a great act. Also
to
to
like combine the different
right.
arts.
right, and to make it more serious and less like strip clubby or something, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
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 Get a question from the directors. If
Yeah.
it's Christopher Block, Ivan Wirtz, L. Deep, who are a few spoken word artists? So that I can-
No, it was
random.
Insano.
Insano.
Oh yeah,
Oh, what are the odds?
that's Rashid's best friend.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Small world.
Yeah. Small world.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Another question from Cora Quotes. Would you like to do this one, Kate?
Yeah, is goed. This person asked the question. I took several pole dance test lessons. Each time, I'm told that the female students feel uncomfortable if I would join group classes, and they either try to sell me expensive private lessons or point me to the door. What
It's a
are my
man, right?
options as a man? Yeah, that's the
Okay.
questions basically. Yeah, you already said something about it. It is possible for men.
Yeah, and mostly females try the sport or like practice the
Mhm,
sport,
right.
but there are also a lot of men doing it.
Wow, and because you said the men in China or something were pole
Also,
dancing.
but also in
There's a
Holland,
different,
it's a different type of pole dancing.
and so in Holland is also for men a different kind of pole dancing or not?
No,
or is
it's the same. Like we have classes where we just
Strangely
teach the same
enough,
thing.
it's not something common as you might see,
I've
right?
never seen it,
Do you
no.
think there's still a taboo around it?
Yeah, I do think that a lot of men like. Would you try pole dancing?
I don't think so. No.
Why
but
not?
I think I like to be a very loud and expressive person, but not really with my body, more with my
Okay.
mouth. So
Okay.
I think I would be. I don't think I would be confident. I would have a lot of fear of falling off the pole.
So it's not necessarily pole dancing, but like sports in general.
Right.
that you're like-
Exactly.
How about you?
Well, I would love to be the flexible dude to being able to do it. But I rather not.
Would you feel
because
comfortable, like in a room full of women, and you
To
doing
do it?
Yeah.
well, it depends.
Yeah, it's crazy. This makes me feel I'm so conservative. Like I would not do this.
Yeah.
Because I would be scared, right? Like, and it's so that makes me feel weird because when it's the other way around, I expect the person on the pole to just be confident and just show me a good time,
Yeah.
or in whatever way. But the other way around, I would be pissing my pants.
No, I would probably do it just for the thrill of it, but well, I would probably end up in an epic film movie and be like breaking teeth and breaking bones. Probably.
Yeah.
I'm not that flexible, at least
Yeah.
not with moving around, man. I
Yeah.
always tend to say I make music so I can make people dance instead of me dancing.
Yeah.
Right. This is an excuse I use also. Yeah.
Yeah, but like if a guy would walk into the studio where I work, he would be welcome. So
Yeah.
I think it's all about the place, and if he's not welcome there, then just look for another studio because it shouldn't be like.
No,
yeah.
you shouldn't be paying extra fees because you're a
No,
man.
exactly.
Yeah, right.
Cool. Next one.
Oh, we already talked a
Okay.
little bit about this.
Did we?
Yeah, because this person asks, I weigh 200 pounds and I'm looking to get into pole dancing. Can I trust the $200
Plus
aluminum
minus.
pole? Yeah, plus minus aluminum chrome covered
poles,
Or should I
look at the
pure
pure brass
brass?
poles instead? What
So
do you
200
prefer?
pounds. How much like is that in like?
In euros, around
Euro-
180.
No.
The
The
kilos.
pounds. How
Like the
how
weight.
many pounds is 200?
Ah,
how many
200 pounds.
kilos is 200 pounds?
100 kilo, right?
Right? Is it something
Yeah.
like that?
100 kilo.
Okay.
Like 2 pounds is 1 kilo. So it will be around.
Well, I'm pretty confident that you are going to say that this is possible.
It is. It is
Right?
very possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you just said all shapes and sizes can do the dancing. But I wonder that there can't be a lot of. You have to have a lot of arm strength to lift these 200 pounds.
Yeah, but
Because,
there's a lot of
yeah.
stuff you can do without lifting yourself in the beginning, which will
Right.
also help you gain strength. You can also do a lot of spins with your feet on the floor,
Yeah.
No,
and
for
slowly
example,
work your
I-
way up.
Right. Okay.
Now, like I normally always wake up and do some push-ups, but that's
Okay,
just like
that's a good
to
habit.
do, yeah, well, just like to do some stuff. But like I don't consider myself being able to push myself up like all these other guys are doing, or like I don't tend to have that much strength for me to grab myself to a pole or something like that. So, what kind of warming up do you do with that?
Yeah. When you're 200 pounds.
How you work, like how you gain the strength, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like in every warm up, we also work on strength. So we do some strength
Mhm,
exercises, and for example, if you do a push up, you can always adjust for someone's level.
Yeah,
So
right.
instead of doing a full push-up, you just like do a half push-up or like
Right.
just to build the strength. And you're right. It's harder if you weigh more. Then that means you have to like lift
Be
more weight up.
stronger.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But you'll be surprised what some people can do. Yeah.
I've all sorts of fantasies about this now, about this 200 pounds person running around the pole and then doesn't really have the strength, but he's running around the pole, or her, and then she just jumps on the pole and with her leg like this, and then you can do a spin maybe. Maybe it's a possibility, yeah. And then she doesn't have to use her arm strength.
Sometimes it's also about moving, right? Is it not, it's like using your own strength in a way or something like that, or swinging in a way that you can create strength? Does it acquire that as well?
So, for example, if you do a spin from the floor, you can grab the pole with your hands and use your weight for like momentum and spin around the pole. Even if you climb, it's not just all arms. You can use your legs too. Right. So the weight is kind of divided between both arms and legs.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's not.
What type of material do you prefer?
I like the pole.
Yeah.
My pole is chrome, but I can also do brass or like stainless steel.
It doesn't
really matter. For me.
There's not something like that. The aluminum pole.
Aluminum.
Is that a weaker pole, or is there not difference because
it's just different materials, but they all do
the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some people prefer one over the other, but
right.
If I had to choose, maybe chrome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Ooh. Are the cheap poles shit?
I've never tried a cheap pole actually.
Like you already invested like the best of the best.
Yeah, the best of the best, like a well-known pole brand. Like when I started pole dancing at a studio, short after I wanted to buy my own pole, so I thought I'd just invest in a good pole because I saw a lot of those fail videos, and I was like, I don't want that to happen to me.
Right.
Like, is it flexible? Can you like easily attach it and dispatch it, or?
Yeah, it's screwed in between the ceiling and the floor, so it's not fixed. You can just like turn, and then it gets shorter, and then you move it away.
So what's the average price?
I think around 200-300 euros.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound too expensive.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Next core quote. Yes. I can't find any instruction videos on how to secure an aerial hoop for dancing. Then you probably haven't seen YouTube. If you
they're probably on YouTube.
Can anyone explain me how I can do this safely?
Aerial hoop?
Yeah.
I have no experience with that.
You don't at all? Have you done it before?
I've tried it before. Like I took some classes. Yeah. But I'm focusing more on pole, so I can tell you how to adjust the pole. But that's all on like the internet.
All right. So unfortunately for this guy or woman, whoever asked it, seems to be like it's not familiar with YouTube, because like. Man, you can find it on YouTube, right? Am I right? Or
just type in aerial hoop tutorial and you'll probably
find it.
Be in the next viral video of a whole thing.
Let's just challenge the direction. Just challenge the director. Like, let him try to find an aerial hoop instruction video. If he find it, we said it all, man.
There you go.
Opa.
How to fall.
Here we go. We got everything. And this thing. Then you have this thing. It looks like climbing equipment.
Yeah, it does, right?
Yeah.
Does it make it easier for you to apply your skills of pole dancing and that artist? Is it easy to adjust it to different kinds of sports that you do? Do you do any different kinds of sports, for example?
I try different aerial sports, for example, aerial hoop or aerial silks, and I think it does help that you have a pole background because you have like a certain strength.
Because looking at the instruments, it kind of looked like it was climb walking or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. I would do it if I get the little harness and just secure me up there.
You're not that high up in the air, so if you just put down a mat, you should be fine.
Okay. No. Maybe later then.
Yeah.
Maybe never.
Did you ever use mattresses in the start? Like just to make sure that you
I still do sometimes.
Right.
But you didn't. How long did it take before you got your own pole after your first lesson?
I had a few lessons and then I stopped because I just didn't have the time and it wasn't convenient. And then I think a year later I started again. And after like 8 to 10 classes, I was like, okay, I'm just going to do this at home too.
Yeah, right. Because would you recommend that for somebody to have if yeah, right, if you did a couple of classes, like let's say 8, 10,
Yeah.
then it's probably time to get your own pole.
For me, it helped a lot, especially
Yeah.
if you have the place and the money. Then,
Yeah,
then I would just say go for it.
Yeah,
Just-
I would like to ask you a bold question, if I
Okay,
may.
go ahead.
Has it improved your sexual activities?
Interesting. Like someone asked me that
Does
a
it
few weeks
influence
ago.
it?
I think that.
I think it would, right? Like
If you're more in touch with your
yeah,
body.
exactly. That's
yeah,
it. But
yeah.
it's not that it improves my sexuality or whatever because I pole dance for a man, but it's more because you do it for yourself and you gain a
No,
lot of
actually,
strength and
that
confidence.
all right. But that wasn't the part I was talking about. It was more like the flexibility, like being able to do more stuff, perhaps, or
Yeah,
it does.
it does.
Awesome,
Yeah,
awesome.
Must
be right.
But why would you work out if it doesn't improve all the full spectrum of things you do? Then you shouldn't work out like I do. Because
Yeah.
everything is already perfect.
Awesome.
Okay, shall I take this one again? The next Kiiroo question. This person says, I get rashes from most types of metal. I want to start pole dancing. How can I protect my skin?
That's a tricky one.
Yeah, you have no experience with rash,
I think
probably.
you also have silicone poles.
Okay.
Oh,
So there are a lot of options.
It's interesting
for,
because this person seems to think that he has to put something on his body to protect the skin, but I don't think that would
Not
be
sure
beneficial.
if that will help the grip also.
Right?
Yeah.
You probably
Do
slip
they
off
have
the pole.
different kinds of gloves that you might use for the pole, or is that
You
not?
can. I never use gloves because you can just do it with your hands.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But, they do have different equipment. You have like things for around your foot, your ankle, and gloves. But I think that kind of
Yeah.
makes it look less.
Do you
Pretty,
also use
Right.
Do you also, for example, use the powder that they use with the ballet? your
Yeah,
hands.
sometimes like it's more of a lotion, like
Ah,
a
it's a lotion.
liquid magnesium.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
I do like to use that. Yeah, sometimes.
Nice.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah, you don't have to. You don't want to use too much because then the skin
you'll
just
sweat and-
it will be so dry that your skin will be on the pole.
Yeah.
Have you ever considered joining a show like, for example, Holland's Got Talent, as we just saw with the Chinese strippers? She entered and won.
I see this happening, but like what you said
Yeah.
with the act.
Yeah.
With the act, with it gives a total new dimension to the pole dancing. And we are understanding people and we get it now. But I think the masses, they will probably, it's a whole different angle
Yeah.
of presenting it. So I would recommend that. Yes, please do.
It has been done before though.
Okay, yeah?
So I'm not sure if it's something for me, like to be like on TV and such a big show. But
Okay.
Who knows?
I've never considered, but who knows? Maybe one day.
And
Yeah.
how did they do it? They said they did it. It has already been done. Somebody on television
I
also
think multiple times I've seen like a pole dance act
in like
a
say
talent
Holland's
show.
Got Talent or
Yeah,
America's Got
Holland's
Talent.
Got Talent, or
But
what's the other name?
X Factor.
X Factor
Yeah,
maybe.
X
I mean,
Factor.
that's,
Yeah,
that's only
maybe.
singing. I
Yeah,
think.
right? Yeah.
X Factor only singing. But there's probably a bunch of those shows.
Yeah.
But still, if it's just a pole dancing act, it's different than a pole dancing act with a spoken word in it.
True. Yeah.
So
That would give like a new.
yeah, new
dimension.
angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like that, but it's whatever you want to do.
Okay,
I wouldn't
thanks.
go on. I wouldn't go on the Voice or anything like that. So I respect everybody who doesn't want to go on there too.
Yeah.
Right?
So for those who would like to find you, where can they find you?
They can find me on Instagram at Flexi, which is FLEXI.pole.
Yes.
Flexi.
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 Dot pole. Yeah.
All right. Cool.
That's-
And for
that's the only
those,
place to be right now, right? Insta is like every other social media is irrelevant. I think right now
yeah, like Instagram, they really did a good job on the
on killing
stories.
Snapchat.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think I'm gonna give it a try.
Yeah.
Are
Yeah,
you?
I think so because I wonder how that moment is gonna feel. Maybe I'll have the same moment that you had with the
yeah.
music from Intouchable and be like, "This is my thing." Because
Maybe you combine it with you can combine it with your music.
right,
like,
yeah,
make
then
a whole-
I will be that act. And I will go to Holland's Got
Yeah.
Talent and pole dance and rap at the same time. Oh, that's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
Nella, interesting indeed.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
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 Cool. Is there some like meditational or yoga like courses in it as well in pole dancing?
Like in pole dancing.
Well, like, can you combine it together? Like, for example, like, is there an overlapping situation with people who do a lot of yoga who also mix it with?
A lot of people who like pole dance also do flexibility training, which has a lot of influences from yoga.
Yeah.
And I think pole dancing itself can be very like meditative.
Yeah.
Because you're like.
Do you experience it like that? Like
Yeah, for
getting
me,
into
like
nirvana,
it
for
really
example.
calms my mind if I'm in the studio or just somewhere pole dancing with my music on and just like floating around in the air. Like it gives me such a peace of mind.
Just doing
does.
that and not thinking about all the
Anything
other
else,
things.
yeah.
It does sound very interesting.
Yeah.
And very calming as well.
We're going to take a class.
We should,
I will
right?
give you a class.
We should.
I got you.
We
Yeah.
should. You know what? As a matter of fact, if we do, we'll just make sure we'll give you guys a report on how it went.
Oh, that would be
We'll
nice.
take
Like a
the
part
cameras
two.
with us.
Sure.
Yeah,
We'll
but
take Rashid to direct the whole thing and say every time we are just getting into it, he says, "Cut!
Yeah.
No, that's wrong."
oh, but
it
at
again.
least we have to get a disclaimer because if we break any like body parts, then
Yeah.
well,
No, that's okay. We have
Yeah.
the mat. She
I
gave
will
me
catch you.
confidence.
It's fine.
Yeah, and if it doesn't, we can always buy the gloves.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Salem, it's been a hell of an interesting conversation with you.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Thanks
coming.
for having me.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Nice.
Would you like to add anything on to the viewers? Would you like to?
Nothing in particular right now.
No? How about you, Kees?
Well, I would say just go book Salem at her Instagram and just slide in her DMs and
Because it goes
only
down
serious
in the
ones.
DM.
Yeah, and it goes down in DM, but we want serious DMs. She wants serious DMs and has to do with hiring her as a professional pole dancer.
For the
Thank
viewers,
you.
don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week. My name has been Urban. I'm thanking Salem. I'm thanking Kees, and I'm thanking Kiiroo TV. We out. Ciao.
Yes.
You.
Hey everyone, welcome back to this week's giveaway. This week we're giving away the Kiiroo Onyx 2. Kiiroo Onyx 2 is a really discreet and powerful masturbator that simulates intercourse in real time. Want to stand a chance to win? All you have to do is like, comment, and subscribe. And next week, we will choose one lucky winner to take this bad boy home with them.